So you've come to the barbell clinic, you've learned how to squat, then you've learned how to press. Next up on the agenda is everyone's favorite, the deadlift. With Gabby's help again, we're gonna teach you how to do the things right with the 5 simple steps that we use to teach the deadlift correctly. So step 1 of the 5 is gonna be stance. Now when Gabby squatted earlier, she had a stance about shoulder width apart. Put your feet a little wider, good. Now, the deadlift is a much more narrow stance. We're looking for hip width, so roughly 8 to 12 inches apart. Go ahead and bring your feet in to get a little closer. Something like this, maybe a tad wider than that, just a shade, good. And you're gonna turn your toes out maybe 10, 15 degrees, just a little bit. Now, she's gonna assume this stance and she's gonna place her shins 1 inch or 2.5 centimeters for all you Europeans out there from the barbell. Go ahead and approach the barbell. Now, she's not gonna kick her legs back when she stands up. She's gonna stand normal anatomical position and she's gonna have that barbell 1 inch away from the shins. And the reason is that that puts the bar directly over the middle of her foot where it needs to be if she's gonna pull. Step 2, without bending Gabby's knees, I want her to take a grip on the barbell. Now before she does it, she has to know that every step after step 1 will never move the barbell. We've gone to the trouble of putting over midfoot, we're gonna keep it there. So go ahead and keep your knees stiff, bend at the waist, take a grip just outside your legs, right there, don't move the barbell. Good. Step 3, Gabby's gonna drop her butt down by bending her knees until her shins make contact with the barbell. Boom, done. Gabby's hips are now set. I'm gonna have her shove her knees out to the elbows a little bit, right exactly like that. Step 4 is where a lot of people get lost. Step 4, I want her without dropping her hips to squeeze her chest up towards the wall to lock her back in extension, exactly like that. She's not gonna drop her hips, eyes are neutral, she's gonna take a big breath, and step 5, she's gonna drag the barbell up her shins by extending her knees. Go ahead and drag it. Stand tall, finish with a big chest. Good, set it down the way you found it, butt stays back, knees are back, good. Let it go. Now, one of the most common errors we see during this setup happens in step 4. When people squeeze their chest up, because the position is uncomfortable and tight, they wanna drop their hips to make it easier to assume. But what happens when this occurs is that Gabby will end up kicking the barbell forward of midfoot and the deadlift falls apart before it even starts. So go ahead and take your grip. Their stance is 1, grip is 2, shins to bar 3. Now, I don't want her to drop her hips. The bar is correct. If she does drop her hips, take a big breath, squeeze your chest and drop your hips, drop your hips. Look what happens to the barbell. The barbell rolls forward. Now it's ahead of midfoot. Her hips are too low. When she pulls or tries to pull, that bar is gonna loop way out in front of her and the whole thing falls apart. Stand up again, let it go. The reason why this is so hard is because, turn to the side for a second, Gabby's hamstrings are attached to the bottom of her pelvis and her low back is attached to the top. So at the bottom of the deadlift, when her hamstrings are tight, the hamstrings want to pull the pelvis in one position while the low back wants to pull it the other way. So there's a war going on for control of Gabby's pelvis. In the deadlift, the low back must win this war. If it doesn't, the hamstrings slack, the barbell gets kicked forward, and the whole thing breaks down. Now that we know how to set up for the deadlift and how to make sure we don't drop our hips, the last thing to think about is how to actually get this bar going off the floor. Even though the deadlift is a pull, it actually starts with a push through the floor with your quads. Knee extension moves the barbell. So when Gabby, go ahead and set up for the deadlift, we're not gonna pull it, grip, knees out a little bit, don't move the barbell, squeeze your chest up, tight, hold. When she pulls, I don't want Gabby to pull with her back, pull up with her lat. That's not what's going on here. Her back is gonna hold an isometric extension. What she's going to do now to move the barbell, squeeze up, is push her feet down. Rock back a little bit, push the floor away, knee extension moves the barbell, exactly like that, stand up tall. Good. Everyone knows what a leg press is in a standard commercial gym. You can think about this as a standing leg press once your back is set. It's important to know that you don't pull with your back, you push with the legs to get the bar going.